Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm Shireen Williams, beat writer for the Cowboys, and today I have Drew Davison joining me. He is subbing in for Clarence Hill. Thank you for joining us, Drew. Let's talk first about just that last drive. Romo had not played all that well, or he had not got much help from his receivers either with 8 drops, but when it mattered most, he went 7 for 9 for 90 yards. How big do you think this is for the Cowboys?
Oh, well, I mean, it's huge, especially after blowing the game last week in Detroit. They really needed to come back and get a win, and for Romo to kind of bounce back like he did was essential, and especially going forward just to try and build some confidence in the offense, especially after averaging 283 yards the last 3 weeks.
Drew, you wrote about Dez Bryant, and we saw the 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. Obviously didn't know what the rule was when he took off his helmet, and then he had 2 big drops. It was not one of Dez Bryant's best days, and we know that Romo has not targeted him a lot, 6 targets last week. But you talked to Dez after the game. Where is he right now with what he's doing? And obviously had the big catch there on the last drive.
Yeah, I mean, Dez is in a good state right now, and he's, and he understands that the storylines he saw last week, his 2 sideline outbursts, obviously the national media went crazy over it, talked about it all week. And, and I think that would have happened again this week with the 2 drops and the penalty, but he was able to make up for himself with the nice catch on the final drive and kind of change the storyline into a more positive light.
There's a lot of talk after this game with Jerry Jones and Dez Bryant even said it. They had the worst nightmare thoughts during this game. If we lose this game against a 1-win Minnesota team at home, probably our playoff hopes are not going to be real good. They still maintain their 1-game lead in the NFC East. As ugly as it looked, as sloppy as it was, they are still in first place in the NFC East. Everything is still in front of them at 5-4. They're going to New Orleans, and that's going to be a hard thing. Even though the Saints lost today, it's going to be hard to go into New Orleans and win. But the big thing in the NFL is surviving in the NFL. And one thing I saw, Drew, was that the way the defense stood up, they've been much maligned this whole season, but stood up there at the end and got the 3 out after the Romo interception.
I mean, there's no question. I mean, like you said, Shireen, the defense has been pretty bad. And when Adrian Peterson's dragging 4 of them into the end zone earlier in the game, that's obviously kind of tells you all you need. But then, they obviously bounce back at the big 3 and out to set up the game-winning drive. So definitely some positives, going forward into next week. And like you said, they survived, and at least they didn't lose to a 1-win team. So
a win is a win is a win. And now they move on to New Orleans next week.